Hey guys, welcome to my university. My name is Sarang and I'm one of the co-founders of edX Engine. I completed my master's in mechanical engineering at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I worked in the US for over 5 years in the area of computational fluid dynamics and combustion. We are conducting this live event to provide comprehensive information about masters in the US so that you can make an informed decision while choosing universities. We also have Surya, who is currently monitoring the comment section below, and he will be answering all of your questions on the spot. And if your questions are really good, meaning that can be useful for all other fellow viewers, I will pick them up and answer it so that everyone can get benefited. So before I get started, a little introduction about our company. So as some of you might know, edX Engine provides live project-based courses for engineering students in India. The courses are conducted live by subject matter experts, and we have instructors from great companies like MathWorks, Mercedes-Benz, and we are also working on other courses in collaboration with engineers from Amazon and Apple. Okay, and in addition to this, we also made My University. Some of you might have already used it. My University is an online platform that helps you get university suggestions. You can store your SOPs, LORs, and resumes in our cloud-based platform. And then not only that, you can also access sample SOPs of admitted students from really amazing schools like Georgia Tech, Stanford, University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and much more. In addition to that, through My University, you can also get SOP reviews and also reviews to other documents such as letters of recommendation and also resume. Stay till the end of the video and we will actually tell you how you can actually do this. In fact, I'll be giving a short demo of My University, somewhere during the middle of this event to show you all the features and how it can actually benefit you in your graduate school process. Okay, now moving on to the contents of this live event. We have a lot of awesome content that we have prepared and that we are really excited to share. Okay, so in today's live event, we will first be talking about course selection and available specializations for computer science, electrical and mechanical engineering departments. So if you are a student from a different department, don't worry too much about it. This is our first live event and we plan on doing more in the upcoming weeks. So for the first live event, we wanted to cover the major departments, and what we are going to be doing is, when I'm talking about the course selection process for these departments, I'll explain some key topics that most of you are thinking about. The first one is difference between MS with thesis and without thesis. The second difference is what's the difference between a 2-year master's program and a 1-year engineering program, or also called as an expedited program. And the other thing that I'm going to answer is how to change streams. For example, if you are currently an electrical engineering student, electrical engineering undergraduate student, how can you switch to a computer science department? These are some of the things that we'll talk about in university selections. So once I talk about the courses, how you select the course, then I would talk about university selections. Now you have to remember that selecting courses and selecting universities are dependent on each other. But once you figure out the course that you're going to take, the specialization that you're going to take, selecting the universities can be done quite easily. All right. Okay. So once we do that, guys, we will talk about an interesting topic, scholarships. Most students, right, and you might fall into this category, spend their entire time focusing on preparing for the GRE exams. Now guys, remember, GRE is just a prerequisite. I'm not saying that it is not important. It is definitely important, but there are more important things. Okay, so think about this. Say that you get a fully funded admit into a top university like Georgia Tech. Now, would you be worrying too much that you have a low GRE score? Absolutely not. On the other hand, think about the other way around. If you have a good GRE score, and if you don't get funding, right, you still have to worry about how you're going to manage the tuition fee because it's really expensive to do your master's, right? So while preparing for your GRE, take the time to also look for scholarships and how you can prepare for them, because I think that's something that many students are missing out. And hopefully in this live event I can teach you how you can identify the scholarships and also how you can apply for some of the scholarship opportunities right from India. Okay, now when we talk about scholarships, right, we do not just explain the types of scholarships, because I think everyone knows that. Rather, I'm going to show you exactly how you can apply for these scholarships sitting from India. Okay, and I'm going to be showing you, 3 RA positions that are currently available, for computer science, electric and mechanical engineering. So make sure that you stay till the end of this video, because only then I would be showing you which universities have this RA position available currently and how you can apply for them. All right. In addition to this awesomeness, we are also doing a live profile evaluation, which means if you need university suggestions, you have to follow a very simple 3-step process. So here, I'm showing the 3 steps that you need to do. The first thing that you need to do is you need to visit myuniversity.edxengine.com. Let me just move a little bit to the side so that there's no overlap. And then you need to click on university recommendations and submit your request. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do this. But before I do that, one thing that I wanted to mention is, we are putting a lot of effort into providing a lot of useful information through this live event. So it would be awesome if you guys can like this video, share, and also invite some of your friends to watch this video. Okay, now let's get started with course selection. Now remember, MS is all about specialization. Okay, so you will have to take a certain number of courses in a particular area, which is called as your specialization area, also known as your plan of study. Okay, now depending on the university, the number of courses that you need to take can range anywhere between 10 and 12 for a master's degree. Okay, only when you finish these courses you will be able to graduate and earn your degree. Now when you apply for a college or when you're in the process of selecting universities, the first thing that you need to make sure is that that university is good for the specialization that you are interested in. Okay, a good example is if you are a mechanical engineer and if you're interested in working with internal combustion engines, a lot of people look at Wayne State University and Arizona State University. On paper, Arizona State University definitely looks much better. But on the other hand, Arizona State University does not have a specialization that focuses on IC engines. So if IC engines is what you're interested in, going to ASU is not going to make any sense to you. Okay, I hope you understand that. Now, in addition to this, most of you are applying for fall semester, which means you still have a little bit more time to think about the specialization. So what we did is we put together, the following list of specializations that are job leading, meaning we actually curated this list by analyzing the last couple years of H1B data. Let me go over this list so that I can explain to you what this is all about. So if you're a computer science engineer, then when you pick a university, pick the universities that have the following plan of study. It can be algorithms, computer architecture, operating systems, machine learning, software engineering, database systems, and security systems. When I say plan of study, what it means is you will be taking a set of core courses. So out of the 10 courses that you need to take, maybe 3 or 4 courses will be categorized as compulsory courses that you need to take from your area of specialization, which can be algorithms, computer architectures, or any other specialization in that list. In addition to that, you can also take elective courses. When you take these courses, right, and when you complete, then you can easily say that you have specialized in algorithms or you have specialized in computer architecture. Now, for electrical engineering, some of the popular specializations that are again job leading. When I say job leading, I'm talking about H1B related jobs. Power systems is kind of the major area where people specialize on, where there are a lot of jobs, followed by biomedical imaging, communication, computer engineering, microelectronics, and signal processing. Now, when it comes to mechanical engineering, similar areas of studies include thermal sciences, fluid mechanics, dynamics, product design, optimization, and automotive systems. So one thing that I would like to point out here is that the order in which I'm specifying the specialization doesn't mean anything, right? It doesn't mean that, for example, in mechanical engineering, thermal systems is better than automotive systems. It is just an order that I picked, which I thought was convenient for me. So any specialization that you see in this list is worth pursuing if that is something that you are interested in. Okay, now the other thing that I'm going to talk about is, if you say that you want to do your MS in thesis, right? Sorry, MS with thesis, then you will have to work on a research project in addition to taking courses. And this is where you will need an advisor, and he or she is the one who decides if you can get a research assistantship or a teaching assistantship for helping them with their research. Okay. Now, as I said before, towards the end of this live event, I will be telling you how you can find and apply for these assistantships right from India. So please make sure you stay till the end of the video. All right. Now, regarding course selection, I mentioned that I will be answering a couple of important questions. So a lot of students are confused between the M engineering program or the expedited program and the master's MS program. Okay. Now, the fundamental difference between the two programs is that the M engineering program in most universities is a 1-year program. Okay. And this might not be available in all universities. The 1-year program falls under the category of professional development and is usually meant for people who are already employed. Okay, so when I say already employed, they already have good jobs in their in a particular company, and they want to perform better in their existing role for which the company is sponsoring their education, right? So the company is sponsoring them to learn as much as possible in 1 year and then join the same company again. Now, if you are in this situation, the M engineering program is a great option because your education is completely sponsored and you have a job when you get back, right? Which is really amazing. On the other hand, right, many students who just completed their BE think that this is a great option because they can study in 1 year, they don't have to pay a lot of tuition fees. But if that is your only motivation, do not take the 1-year program because that's not going to work for you. Because your motivations and your thought process is incorrect. You will spend a lot of money in a short span of time and you might not be able to reap the benefits. Okay. All right. So let me move on to the next topic. Okay. So the next topic that I'm going to talk about is university selection, right? So when you choose universities, you need to pick the ones that offer courses and perform research in the area of your interest. Okay, now if you are someone who is not really interested in any area, right, and your only objective for doing masters in the US is to get a job, then at least target the universities based on the companies that you wish to work for. So let me give an example here. So say that you are a computer science student and after graduation you want to get a job in Google, Microsoft or Facebook, right? And you do not have any other kind of academic goals like publishing a paper, pursuing research, and maybe even going for a PhD degree, right? Your only objective is to get the job in one of the reputed companies in a quick manner. Now, the thing that you need to do at a bare minimum level, right, is to at least look for universities that are closer to these companies. Now, in general, location does not matter, right? If you know what you're doing, then you can actually go to any school and succeed, and you can get jobs from any universities. But I'm talking about the special group of people who just want to get a job, right? And the reason why this solution works for you is, right, when you go to a location where you have these companies, when you study in the university, you have a lot of networking opportunities, right, which you can make use of to find internships or even possibly full-time opportunities. So this is at a bare minimum that you need to do. Now, on the other hand, if you're more inclined towards, pursuing research, possibly continuing to a PhD degree after your master's, then you need to be doing more work. You are the class of people that I would call as academically more inclined. Now, if you fall into this category, then unfortunately you need to do a little bit more work. In fact, you need to go to the university's website. You need to read about the research labs and the faculty profiles and how frequently they publish, right? And This takes a lot of time, but trust me guys, it's going to be really useful for you in finding out potential funding opportunities. You can find, you get the opportunity, I mean, with this process, you can find professors who are leading their areas of research, right, and work under them. Now, this is possible. Now, one thing is traditional researching, like going through each and every university page can be really cumbersome. Now, that is why we developed my university. So when Surya and I applied for graduate school, we had the same difficulties. We both knew that, like for example, in my case, I wanted to specialize in the area of IC engine combustion, and Surya wanted to specialize in the area of product development. But it was very hard for us to, go through the process of selecting universities, and that is why we built in my university. And let me kind of explain to you how you need to use it. And this is actually a perfect time for a short demo session. Okay, all right. So guys, so first thing is, please, when you go to myuniversity.edxengine.com, I would highly encourage all of you to create an account. Use Facebook to log in. That's going to be the easiest option for you. It's going to take it's going to take only like few seconds to log in, right? So once you log in, go to dashboard. The dashboard is a single interface that actually walks you through your entire application process. So for example, you can add the list of universities that you're planning to apply for, and you can manage all the documents, SOPs, LORs, and much more inside a single interface. You don't have to manage it in Google Drive and then worry about losing the documents. You can manage everything in my university, and that makes your life much more easy. And I'll walk you through that in a second. So the first thing that you need to do is go to university recommendations, guys. So here, what you can do is, if this is the first time that you are using my university, then what you can do is you can click on request suggestions, and then you can fill out all these forms, right? Now, when you fill out all these forms, make sure that you put in your mobile number as well. That way you can get SMS notification when your university suggestions are ready. Now, in this process, right, we actually take all your information and we carefully suggest universities for you, right? And if you have already used my university, and if you have already requested for university suggestions, then what happens is you get this really beautiful looking page which contains the list of universities that you can apply for. So I can click on a university, and that will give me more information about how that university matches my profile. So first, right, I give basic information such as what's the tuition fee and what's the application fee. Now this is an important parameter because for most students the application fee is not a big deal, but the tuition fee can be a big deal, right? The other thing you need to do is, right, when you are applying for a university, you should always consider applying for a university where your chances of getting an admit is high, because like I said, though the application fee is small when compared to the tuition fees, it is still not negligible, right? So here what we do is, in the profile evaluation, we provide you like what's the percentage difference between your actual score and what the university expects, right? With this information, what you are able to do is, you're able to make an educated guess. You don't have to go to a consultancy to do this. The consultancy is going to send you to a university that they partner with, which is most likely going to be a really low ranked university. So don't do that, guys, okay? But the most interesting thing, or most interesting feature in my university, comes as you scroll down. So for example, we provide you the list of research areas that is available for the particular degree that you are interested in. We automatically pull that information for you so that you don't have to look at it. If you keep scrolling down, you get the feedback form. If you have already used my university, if you like the service, give us a good feedback. For some reason, if you had a very bad experience with my university, please let us know. We want to make sure that we fix every issues that sometimes that we are not able to find. So if you feel that you did not have a very good experience, I apologize for that, but do give us a feedback. I will be sharing my contact information soon so that you can take a look at it. All right, now if I scroll even more, this is where the most interesting part comes in. So we provide important links like what are the part-time jobs, right? where is the link to the application fee, what is the link to the research areas available, and some useful information that you need to read, and also contact information for the graduate school. Now this information is really important for each and every university that you apply, and with my university all that information is available in a single interface. Now if I scroll up, there is a hidden gem. I would like to think about the compare university feature as a hidden gem, because it compares all the data that we provide for each and every university that you apply. So for example, let's go and click on research areas. Just with a single click, right, I'm able to see the available research areas in each and every university that has been suggested to me. Now with my university's university suggester, you can also request for the universities that you want to apply for, right? Or you can let us suggest the universities. We do the suggestions based upon past admin data, and sometimes you might not like it, and sometimes you want to give a custom list of university. That you can also do that. All right. Okay. So now let me go back and share my contact information. So if you're someone who wants to do a research in a particular area, and you have some doubts, feel free to contact us. This is our contact information. Feel free to call us, feel free to email us, and we would be happy to help you out. All right. So now let me move on to the next topic. Okay. So before we move on to the next topic, I think I'm going to take some questions, read the comment section. As I'm doing that, I wanted to actually show you one of the testimonials. Basically, one of our clients, got an admit into the Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. And here is what Madhuri had to say about my university, and document what our experiences were.
My trust with edX Engine began when I started working on my MBA applications. My case was a bit different. I wanted to apply to universities which were reputed not only for MBA but also for MS. The reason being, my fiancé was to apply for his course in data science. I stumbled upon edX Engine, and although they had just started up their company and were working with only the MS applications at that moment, they were proactive enough to help me out with my shortlisting. Looking at the dedication and enthusiasm that they had put in and come up with a list of universities for me which were good for not only MS but also for MBA, I was really impressed. I immediately subscribed to their essay package because I wanted help only with that. I was very particular with my essays, and I was not really satisfied very easily. So I required almost 10 to 15 takes of editing for each essay. And the best part about the team was that they were not irritated, frustrated about my requests at any point. That was really commendable. Although I had subscribed to only the essay package, the team was very proactive enough to communicate with me with regards to the status of my application, my progress with the interviews, how I had performed, whether I had heard from the school or not. So they did not take the subscription of their package as a professional service. It was a personal commitment to them because they worked with me at every step of the way and handheld me through every process. Even now that I have started my postgraduate program course in ISB, I still hear from the team on how I'm doing at the school, whether I need any help, whether there is anything that they can help me with, and that.
Alright guys, we are back from our break. Now, one other thing that I wanted to talk about that most of you were interested is how to switch from ECE to computer science, or if you are a mechanical engineering, how can I get a master's in computer science? How can I do that? Now, the answer to this question depends completely on your individual profile and also what policies are framed by the university to which you are applying for. Okay, so let me kind of walk you through this. I guess the easiest move is if you are currently an ECE student or a EEE student in India, and if you want to pursue your master's in computer science, the first question that people get is it possible? Absolutely yes. How can this be done? You have several options. So first option is, in some universities the process is really straightforward. And the way you can make that happen is you can actually contact the graduate school and you can ask them this question. That's it. Now there is an email template for which that we provide. Now what we are going to do is, for all of you who attended and all of you who registered in our website today, we will be providing these email templates for free. So just watch out. And if you're not getting these email templates, you still have our contact information. Make sure you use our contact information and write to us in case we don't send you these templates. Now basically you can email the graduate school and ask them that, hey, this is my profile and I've taken so many courses in my undergraduate education, and if you have some work experience, especially working for an IT company, you can tell them that, hey, I've worked in this IT company for a couple of years where I developed, I was involved in algorithms development and I have a very good handle in algorithms and data structures. In that case, if you have that qualification, then the graduate school might actually remove all the prereq requirements for you. This is not a guarantee and this totally depends on your profile and the graduate school, but it has happened, right? So what you need to do is, you should not just rely on the answers that people are putting on WhatsApp or Facebook. Rather, just contact them. And guys, they are super responsive. The graduate school is going to give you a reply in 24 hours. If you don't get a convincing reply, you can always call them. They also give their phone numbers. It might be less convenient for you to give them a call, but trust me, you're going to be spending $40,000 on tuition fee waivers. On your tuition fee. So you might as well give them a call and ask them these questions, because I think it's very, very important. Okay, cool. Now, another question that is very, very attached to university selection is, a lot of students, right, tell us that, hey, my GRE score is quite low. I have a score less than 300 and my GPA is less than 3.0. What university should I apply for? Now, guys, I have a couple of points to make here. So if your GPA is really good and your GRE scores are poor, always retake, because you might be thinking, okay, why should I spend additional $200 for my GRE exams? But it's totally going to make a difference. I know that a lot of students are in the WhatsApp groups or Facebook groups say that going to a good university doesn't matter. It totally does, right? And I can tell this firsthand. UW Madison is a very good school. The opportunity and exposure that I got was quite awesome. It helped me a lot in my career and also in things that I wanted to learn. Okay, so going into a good university is very important. And if you have a good GPA but a low GRE score, then you can fix it. You can you can retake your GRE and get your profile into the right shape and then apply for a decent school. On the other hand, if your GPA is low, right, no matter how much you score in GRE, you are not going to get into a top university. At that point, what you need to decide is, you need to go into a school where at least you have an opportunity to get a job, right? And this is where I advise all of you to not go to a consultant, because whenever you have low GRE and a low GPA, you can get exploited very easily. You can be sent to a partner university, and remember, for each student that a consultant sends to a partner university, they get a commission for it, which is a huge amount, right? And the university gets your application fees and your tuition fees. The consultant gets money from you and also gets a commission from the university. And you go to a university that does not have any job track, or basically it doesn't have a name, nobody knows about it, you don't know what the job prospects are. So don't make that mistake. So what we did is, we put together a list of universities that you can apply for if you have a low GRE score and a low GPA. Again, you have to take this with a pinch of salt. This is a very generic list. It might not be good for all the departments, but it gives you a list that you can use, and you can read about these universities a little bit more and then do some research to see what job opportunities are available. If that is something that you need some help with, feel free to contact us. Let me put up our contact info, but I'll let this university list stay for a while. Okay, now just like you have students with low GRE and low GPA. You have students who have a decent GRE score and a decent GPA, probably a very good GPA as well. But then a lot of students feel like their profile is not good enough for a good school. This is because they underestimate themselves and they think that they cannot make it into a good school. One thing that you guys are forgetting, if you are in this boat, one thing that you are forgetting is that a good SOP and resume can take you a long way. If you feel like your profile is low and that you won't be able to get into a good school, you should consider letting us help with your SOP and resume. In fact, right now, what I'm going to tell you is I'm going to tell you how you can actually upload your SOP in my university and get a free review for it. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to go ahead and open up Google Chrome one more time. All right, see guys, so the first thing that you need to do is when you are in the My University platform, click on Documents Manager. So the Documents Manager is a single interface that allows you to manage all of your university related application documents. Now it contains powerful features. For example, say that you want us to review one of your SOP documents. What you can do is you can click on Add Documents and you can choose the university that you are planning to apply. Now, if you do not know what universities you are going to apply, it doesn't matter. Just click on Add a Random University. And then what we are going to do is, we are going to create a folder for it. Now, the best part about My University is that if I click on University Checklist, what's going to happen is for each and every university, I'm automatically going to get a list of things that that university expects. This list is populated dynamically and it's available for all the universities. Now, again, this is not part of the free access. You need to go premium for this, but it's a really affordable plan and I'll talk about our plans at a later point. So if you need a free SOP, first add a university, and then once you go inside that university, what you can do is you will see a list of documents. Now this list of documents is automatically generated for each and every university. We know that what each and every university expects, so we provide this list automatically. So you can create all types of documents, guys. So for example, based upon our experience, we have come up with useful templates for your resume that people here in the US appreciate. And this is the template that you need to use if you are going to apply for your master's in the US and if you're applying for research assistantship. This template is available for free. You just need to create an account in the platform. All right. In addition to this, what you can do is you can also create statement of purpose. So one thing that we do is, you can paste your statement of purpose. So if you already have a statement of purpose, go into the document manager, create a SOP, paste your SOP, and when you're ready, just click on this review button. When you click on the review button, we get a notification, we look at your profile, we look at your SOP, and then we provide a really short review, And we also provide some really useful information if that is something that's available at that time. And in addition to this, we also provide a document rating. Now guys, again, I hope you all understand that this is just an example. So if you actually give me your real SOP, if you actually put your real SOP there, we will basically read that and give reviews accordingly. We have also developed a 7-point scoring system. So last year, we sent several students into good universities like Stanford, UIUC, Georgia Tech, North Carolina State University, RWTH, Germany, and so on. So based upon that, we have come up with a 7-point scoring system. With the 7-point scoring system, we can tell you that if your SOP will make it or not. And if you're someone who needs this, you can get this for free. And all you have to do is just put your SOP in our interface and then ask for a review. We perform these reviews in less than 24 hours. So if you give us your SOP today, you will have it tomorrow. You will have the review tomorrow. Okay, all right. So let me go back and talk about scholarships. I'll share my contact info so that if anyone needs it, you can take that. Whew. All right, guys. Now, in general, there are two ways to get scholarships. Let me just sit a little bit to my left so that I don't block this. Okay. Now, when I say two ways to get scholarships, you can get it through the graduate school or you can get it through your advisor. Okay. Now, to get scholarships through the graduate school, you need a fantastic SOP, right? Now this is a tougher path. As I said earlier, we are the best people in the market to help you do this. In order to qualify for this scholarship, you need to apply before the deadline. Remember, when you there are two application deadlines for every university, right? One deadline is before the other one, and that is the deadline that you need to focus on if you need funding. In order to be considered for funding, you need to apply early before that deadline, which means you need to take your GRE, TOEFL, and you should also have your application documents ready, right? So a good time to complete all of your tests would be second week of September, right? Because that is when the deadlines start to roll out. If you're taking your exams in October, late November, that's still fine, but you're missing on this crucial deadlines. Even if you have a good profile, if you miss the deadline, you are not going to be considered. So that is something you need to remember. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be talking about the second kind of scholarships, which is through research assistantship and teaching assistantship. Now, in order for all of this to work out, you should be interested in performing masters along with some kind of a research program. So that is typically what MS with thesis is. Now, if you're interested in doing your MS with thesis, you can contact the appropriate professors in the US and send in your resume. Like I said, if you need a good resume template, you can use my university's document manager, and I showed you where the resume is. You can use it and you can type your resume and you can download it. Now, if you have difficulties using that, feel free to contact Surya. He's going to help you out. Now, in addition to this, professors also publish RA and TA positions in their website. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be teaching you two things. So first is, how can you look for RA opportunities from the websites, from the university's website. And the second thing that I'm going to teach you is how you can look for these opportunities from the faculty's profile page. All right. So let me go back and show it to you. Excuse me. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm currently in jobcenter.wisc.edu. So this is a public page that everyone has access to. You can take a look at it, and these are the available job openings, right? So you can see that there are external job opportunities that is outside the universities, which most of you do not qualify for, and there are on-campus jobs. Now if I scroll right, you can see that there are several opportunities. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to search for the keyword assistant, right? And immediately you can see that childcare assistant is not applicable, but you can see that there's something called as graduate assistantship. So let's click on that. Right now you can see that there are so many openings at UW that are currently available, and anytime the pay is more than $1,000, then most likely that job is also going to give you 100% tuition fee waiver. So for example, let's take a look at this particular entry here. It says Sridharan's lab project assistant. Now if I click on that, you can see the description and you can see that if you qualify to apply or not, but you can see that the appointment percentage is 33%. So what that means is you qualify for a full tuition remission, right? Which is amazing. Tuition fees in UW is quite expensive. It's almost $13,000 per semester. So you don't have to pay the tuition fee. It gets covered for you. And in addition to that, you also get $1,000 per month as a stipend, right? And this is an information that's publicly available. If I can see it, so can you. So make use of this opportunity. Now, in addition to that, in addition to research and teaching assistantship, there is something called as a project assistantship. So a project assistant is basically someone who is actually helping a department, say, develop the website, is basically taking care of their IT infrastructure, and the lab or the department pays them to do it. So I found an interesting project assistant position, right? So the project assistant web development position, if you go through this, you can see that if you just know PHP, MySQL, HTML, and CSS, you can get a 33% appointment. That means full tuition fee waiver, guys, and also a monthly stipend of $1,450. Right now, you don't have to be a student who is in computer science department to do it. If you're someone who is in electrical, who is someone in mechanical or biomedical, but you know how to do web development, you can simply apply for these positions, and you can do it right from India. Now, one thing is, you should be at a point where you are going to get an admit from these universities if you're applying for a project assistantship roles, right? Because these roles are available only for people who are going to be a student at that university. Now, on the other hand, if you want to contact professors even before you apply, right, that is still possible, and that would be the research assistantship track. And I'm going to be giving you 3 examples of RA ships that are currently available. Okay, so this is the interesting part, guys. So if you are a computer science student, right, and say that you are into computer vision, right, you have done some projects using OpenCV, and you have some experience with machine learning, you have some experience with algorithm development. It could be for any project that you're working on. The first professor that I would like to bring to your attention is Professor Ekta Jain. So Professor Ekta Jain works at the University of Florida, and she works on computer vision, right? And just after reading her page for a couple of minutes, I was able to find that she has RA and TA positions. And all you need to do is you need to email her. Now, regarding the email, that is a very critical step, for which you need to have a very good email template and also a very good resume. And for both of these things, my university from edX Engine provides you free resources, and I'll be talking about that in a second. So this is the RA position that you can apply currently if you are a computer science student who is interested in computer vision. Now, if you are an electrical engineering student, then check out Vishal M. Patel's profile from Rutgers University. So he works on biometric application, active authentication, and things like that. And he recently got a huge NSF grant. NSF is a funding organization here in the US, and it funds the research projects. So if he's getting funds for it, then there is a very good chance that he has available RA positions. But guys, it's not like if you apply for it, you are going to get it. You need to be qualified for it, and you can apply for these positions right from India just by sending in your resume. All right, finally, for mechanical engineering students. Okay, so for mechanical engineering students, check out University of Michigan Ann Arbor's Walker Sick. Professor Walker Sick does a lot of research in IC engine combustion, both computational work and also experimentation. He has several openings because he's actively researching, and you can check that by looking at his list of publications. And this is a technique that we typically use. So if you look at the list of publications, you can see that there are several studies that have been done on 2017, which means he's still performing research actively, which means he has research funds, which means he's actively looking for students. So you can just use these 3 tips, guys, to figure out where RA ships are available. In our upcoming events, we plan on providing more such positions out so that students can get benefited from it. Now, one important thing is, I wanted to recap. So if you want to apply for research assistantships right from India, then make sure that you follow these 3 steps. You need to have a good SOP and resume, right? That is extremely critical. Now, if you need help with your resume or SOP, like I said, we would be happy to help you out. Like I said, we have most of our team did our masters in the US, and we really feel like we know what we are talking about, right? So if you are interested in working with us, do feel free to contact us. You can get in touch with Surya, and he will provide you with our contact information. And regarding the email templates, anyone who registers in the site today and anyone who attended this event is going to get free email templates that you can use to contact professors for RA-ship. You will get a free resume template, which is already there in our website, and you will also get a free email template that will teach you how you can contact the graduate school to request for a department change. All right. Okay. All right, guys. So I think that's all I had for today's live event. I hope you all enjoyed it and you all found it useful. We are planning to do this every week, and each week we are going to be focusing on things that are really important for you, and we are not just going to be focusing on how you can get 2 additional points in GRE. Like I said, that is important, but if you think about long-term goals, you need to start thinking about how you are going to get a job after you complete your master's, and I think we would be able to provide a lot of resources for that. One last point before I conclude: if you go to our website, myuniversity.edxengine.com, check out learning resources. Now we have several learning resources which contains a lot of useful information for each department. This is something that we are actively working on, so if you feel like for your department there is not a lot of information, just be patient. We are writing articles as fast as we can so that we can help a lot of you. So for example, if I go to mechanical engineering, we talk about jobs that are available, specializations that are available, what type of jobs are available, and what are some of the top universities in robotics, biometrics, automotive engineering, and so on. You can just, you don't have to register to read the blogs, and I would recommend viewing this web page from a desktop for better experience. Okay. All right, guys, with that I would like to conclude our first live event. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can feel free to contact us directly. Feel free to message us on WhatsApp, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.